Well, welcome everybody, and we're here to talk about the Snohomish School District's replacement levies that's coming up on the special election on February 8th, 2022, and just coming to share some information to give us a basis of knowledge of these two levies that the district is asking for. Here's a slide that really gives us a background of who we are as Snohomish and who our district is. We're a district of about 9,400 kids. Couple of things in here that I want to point out. I think it's fantastic that our average teacher has about 15 years of experience, which is a wonderful thing to bring to our classroom and to our kids. The second one is that 62% or 64%, excuse me, of our teachers have at least a master's degree. I truly believe that a master's degree helps each teacher to be a better professional, a better teacher. But not only that, and equally important, I believe it's a great role model for our kids to see that their teachers are continuing their education and that learning is lifelong. This is something that we really need to celebrate. Back in the fall of 2021, niche.com came out with a rankings of school districts. This is something that we should really be celebrating. As you take a look at these numbers, they ranked school districts from across the nation, across the state, and across our county and where we are. If you take a look at Snohomish County, we're number 2 out of 14 of best school districts in our county. Phenomenal. We're the number 1 in the safest school district, number 1 for best school districts for athletes, and the second place school for best places to teach. This really says something not only about our school districts, our staff, but also our community and our commitment to a high standard of education for kids, a high standard of just a place, a learning environment for our staff and our kids. It's just a great thing to see and something to celebrate for our community. This chart really shows our revenue in a very high level way. As you know, the district is funded by the state, but also by local levies, these two local levies. Our first levy, which is the Educational Program and Operations Levy, or EP&O, is about 12% of our budget. And our other levy we're asking for, which is our technology, safety, and facility improvements, about 4%. What this shows us is that our full revenue that comes from the state and from the local levies is needed, and that this is a pretty good chunk of who we are and what we're able to offer to all of our kids. And going back to this, we are in the February 8th special election asking the renewal of 2 levies. These levies have been approved prior to this. The last 4 years they were approved, and they've been in our district for a number of years. The first proposition is the Educational Program and Operation Levy. Like I said, it's the EP&O levy. This is our larger levy that really touches all corners and everyone in our district. The second levy of the proposition number 2 is a replacement levy for technology, safety, and facility improvements. This is a great pie chart to talk about that EP&O levy, the one that I said really touches all corners of our district, and it truly does. Everything it is, if you see that from this pie chart, it says about 60% of the levy goes to classroom support, but you go around and see it touches substitute teachers, special education, athletics, nurses, maintenance, everything we do for our students, everything we do in our buildings and for our community is really touched by this levy. And we're going to talk about it more as we walk through this presentation. 56 jobs are created by these local levies. These are positions for educators to be with our kids every day, to make sure that our schools are safe, to make sure that our schools are clean, to make sure that all the needs of our students are met. These are jobs that are needed in order for us to maintain the standard, the high quality of education that we expect in Snohomish. I want to talk about the EP&O replacement levy and how it truly does impact our district. If you take a look at this chart, it shows particular positions in our district and the number of positions that are supported by the state revenue and the number of positions that are supported by these levies. I want to let you know in a general nutshell how our levy or how our school is funded by the state. Every year we tell the state how much enrollment we have. So we tell them that we have 9,400 kids, and they plug it into their formula, and that for those 9,400 kids, they say This is how many teachers you need, how many more counselors you need, how many librarians you need, how much money you need for curriculum, for maintenance, for utilities. In essence, they take the 9,400 and they build a prototypical school. This is never meant to be the full educational package for our district, but it's just what the state says, what they think that we need. And we go from there in Snohomish and say, hey, we need a better offering. And this is where the levies come up to really finish out what we feel is a great standard for our kid quality education in Snohomish schools. So let's take a look at this chart. If you go down to the fourth one down, nurses to support student health. The state says, and the state only pays for 1.4 nurses for all 9,400 students. We at Snohomish, we have 12.3 nurses, so the levies pay for 10.9 nurses. Same with our paraeducators. If you look at the first line, we have about 30 paraeducators in our school system. The state pays for about 15 and the levy picks up the other. There's other examples of this also. In the elementary, we truly feel that counselors are important and we have a full-time counselor in every single elementary. The state only pays for half of that elementary counselor, so the levy picks up for the other half. It's also important to note that anything that happens before or after school, the state does not pay for. Now, immediately our minds go to athletics, but it's much more than athletics. Any clubs, drama, our bands, our specialty bands, anything that happens after hours, this levy pays for. Even as we go into the summer, such as our Summer Science and Arts Academy and the book fair, and the book cafe that travels around our district, all paid for by the levy. So if you think in that mind that the state only pays during the school day, anything outside comes from this levy. Also, you can see that a lot of positions are expanded to meet the needs of our kids. The replacement levy for technology, safety, and facility improvements. We know that our technology, we have a robust network for technology with devices for our kids. This was proven during the pandemic as we went to online learning and kids were learning from home. We know we have a great system that needs to be maintained and continue to be built upon to meet the future needs of our kids. Also, we know that our facilities need attention. Just like your home, there's always upkeep, whether it's a roof or furnace or water heaters or paint, all the things that go along with maintaining your home. Same thing we have to do in these buildings, and we have to continually maintain our facilities. Safety is another big one for us. As we go and take a look at how can we keep our facilities safe, whether it's with cameras or improving school parking lots or improving our play areas, things that we need to do to keep a safe environment for our kids to learn and our teachers to teach. This is a very important slide as it truly shows the forecasted levy rates over time. You can take a look at this, and those bars really represent the three things that make up the total levy rates for our district. The green are EP&O levies. The smaller blue band, that's our safety, technology, and facility maintenance levy. And the bottom one are our bonds. One thing that we've learned from our district is our community members truly want a stable tax rate from their school district. And as you can see, we're forecasting that, even to be in a little bit of a decline. The reason for that, if you take a look at these three bands, you can see that the gray one, which is our bonds, these are the 2004 and the 2008 bonds, are really going down in cost. And this is due to our board. Our school board is really capitalized on refinancing these bonds to take advantage of the low interest rates, much like you do with refinancing your home to lower your mortgage rates. And so we've done that twice over the past couple of years, and it's really shaved off millions of dollars of costs in our bonds. And in fact, and then in turn, impacted the levy, the tax rates. We've taken some of this savings and then captured them in our other two levies. Take a look at the green band. The green band in 2022 went from $1.53 and we're asking for $1.80. The smaller blue band goes from 52 cents to 60 cents. That's an increase. That's because our costs, just like yours at home, through inflation and things, are going up. But overall, the whole tax rate is going down. As we take a look at this and as the board discussed this, they knew it was important to maintain it. And even though there are more needs and inflation is hitting us just like everyone else, we need to be stable with our tax rates. Another chart that's really important in this are the two below ones. School levies by law are going to ask for a fixed dollar amount that we can collect every year. And if you take a look at that, 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026 shows the exact dollar amount that we can collect during those years. And you'll see these amounts on the ballot. This is truly what you're voting for. And what this does, when approved, it only authorizes to collect that exact amount. So let's say your assessed value goes up in your house. We've had the question from folks to say, well, if the assessed value goes up, then they can collect more money. That's not right at all. What it is we're locked into that dollar amount that you approved on this February 8th election. And that's important because that's what we'll need to operate the schools for the next 4 years. Those dollar amounts are set for all 4 years, like I said, and you can't roll things over. If we don't spend it in 1 year, it doesn't roll over to the next year. That's the exact amount that we can spend. One thing else I'd love to bring to your attention is if you take a look at that green band again, and we're asking for $1.80. The state put a cap on that amount. They said we can only ask as a school district $2.50 for a cap on that one amount. As you can see, we're only asking for $1.80. So we're a long ways away from where the state says our maximum is. What we're truly asking for is what we need to offer that quality education that we're so used to in Snohomish. I want to show you the last slide of this presentation because I think this is pretty important. This slide really has come out after talking to folks and a lot of the questions that come up about the levy. If property values go up, do schools get more funding? And the answer is no. If you see this teeter-totter or this seesaw sort of graphic, what it's telling you, if property values go up, then the levy rates go down. We're locked into that dollar amount and the levy rates will adjust so we can keep at that dollar amount. I would really like to thank you for taking the time to listening to this conversation. I'd like to thank you for engaging in as this most important special election comes up on February 8th. It is something that we need for the school district in order for us to maintain and continue on teaching our kids and having a great community pride in our schools. Please be informed, try to find more information, reach out to us. So when you come to get that ballot next week, that you'll be able to make an informed decision for your school district. Thank you very much and have a good day.